cabin.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, good morning. Got some coffee. This is not my usual mug, but it's a big one and it holds a lot of coffee. Yeah, Boston Terriers. I'm a big fan of those dogs. They're a lot of fun. I miss my dog. She was a great little dog, but eventually I'll get another dog for sure. Absolutely. Got a little bullseye flake here and the old bulldog. Bullseye flake and a bulldog. Yeah, seems appropriate, right? Got a lot of pipes. I need to showcase some of my favorite pipes and some of my antique ones. But this one definitely is a good daily driver. This blend really does taste quite nice in this. It's funny because different pipes, the same tobacco will taste a little different in each one because of its style and shape. And you wouldn't think that it would make a difference, but it does. It does. It's minor, but there is a difference. So as you can see from our thumbnail, we're doing something a little different. We're still doing something burning. We have the old Dietz Top Lift 1913 here just as our fun background light. This thing is really great. I got this from a collector up in Washington, and he's one of the members on the Tubular group. Anyways, it's a beautiful piece. It's one of the earlier Top Lift D lights, and it's just nice. I did a very subtle cleanup job on this thing, and it's just great. So I'll just put that there, and you can still watch it and enjoy it while we're having our chat. But I haven't done a video on torches, road torches. That's right. And that is something that I should do because it's still something that burns kerosene and burns. Now, they're not designed to be light, like that you can sit and enjoy like this. No, they're just a big thick wick with kerosene and an open flame. Yes, absolutely. That's what they are. Excuse me. Anyway, let's get into it. Put that down for a second. A little sip of coffee. Yes, good stuff. So, road torches, what were they used for? Why did they exist? Well, road torches indicate that they were used for the road. Now, a lot of people have miscalled them smudge pots. Now, it's not their fault. A lot of people have called them smudge pots because there's a lot of similarities in the design and technique or method that they use as smudge pots. Now, what a smudge pot is, now stay tuned, I will have a slideshow to show you the difference. And I will show some images of these road torches in action in their original, application. But, get going forth, a smudge pot was used in orange groves and agriculture to keep frost from developing on your crops. And they were just a large, round, flat style fount, typically galvanized, with an air tube and then a chimney and a big wick. So they would actually create huge flames, open flames, and that would create the heat to keep frost from developing on your crops, especially in the citrus trade here in California. So, yeah, people think California doesn't get cold enough for frost. Really? It does. It can. And citrus seasons are at different times of the year, depending on the variety of the orange or lemon or whatever. Like, I think Navels are January, February, and Valencias are at the tail end of the year or during the summer months. But I can't remember which. But I should know this. I am a big fan of citrus. But whatever the case is, smudge pots are a different animal. They're a lot larger than these. And this is your classic Toledo road torch. That's right. This thing has never been burned. It's very clean. It's all original. I will take it apart for you so we can watch. So the little cup or cone on the top here. It has little slots, so it can, you know, let the flame spread. And then you have a wick and a little plate that just sits there, keeps the, you know, and it has these little barbs on the inside. See that? To keep the wick from falling down. See, I can't bring the wick down, but if I push it, it'll pop out. See, but I can't bring it back down as much. It will keep it from going up. Anyways, this is your wick. Look at that thing. Can you believe this thing? Yeah. It's something else. It's a hefty wick. And there's only one source that you can get these wicks. Either you find new old stock ones, or you have to order one from the Kirkmans. It's getting a little cool. Let me put this on top of the D-light and keep my coffee warm. Makes sense. Ha! Anyways, but yeah, this is your wick, and the fount. This whole thing is a fount. Okay, this whole thing, you fill it up with kerosene, and then you stick the wick in there and you light it, and that's how it works. That is the whole concept behind a road torch. So it's technically really a torch in all intents and purposes. Now this one's never been used, and if I did use it, it'd get really dirty, really dirty. They smoke like crazy. They are not designed to be clean burning things like a tubular lantern. Hey, 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 hey. Ha, 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 ha. It echoes in there. Anyways, maybe I can play it like an instrument, like a jug, you know. I won't do that for you guys. I respect you too much. I'll stop. But how does this work, and why is it round? Why does it look like a bomb from the old Acme, era Warner Brother cartoons? A lot of people have made that correlation and that connection. Well, the very first ones, the earlier ones, actually were flat. They were kind of more dome style, and they just had a flat bottom, so they wouldn't roll around. But by the 1930s and 40s, they started coming around. Toledo and created this more sphere shape. There is a flat spot. There's a little flat spot on the bottom, so they will sit, but they'll stay in place. But if a car drives by, like that guy, Irwindale's over there, sir. Anyways, if a car is driving by a construction area, it's been known that they can get close to these things, because these would be placed around an open trench or a work area on the road, on the highway. And not everybody's always paying attention, but if a car was to hit it, it would just roll away. It would just roll away and then, right itself. Now, there are weights. There are weights in this, and there's like a metal cone. And I don't think you can really see it in here. No, it's underneath. It's got a false bottom, so it's under here, but it's all full of buckshot or scrap metal used for making these. So they take all the scrap metal and they just throw it in there, so it gives it weight. So it will sit upright, and if it rolls away, then it will right itself. So there's a lot of kind of engineering behind this simple design. It's kind of cool. It really is. Anyways, here's another one. Here, you know what? We'll just put this here on the bench, and you can kind of just enjoy looking at it. Yeah. Toledo. See if this is warmer. It's getting there a little bit. Anyways, don't want that to fall. It actually kind of sits right on top, because the solid dome on the crown and the bottom of the cup is concave a little bit. It actually kind of fits perfectly. Doesn't it look like it fits perfectly? I know it's still a little precarious, but anyway. Here's one. This is, I'm seeing if I have fuel in it. I don't think I do have any fuel. But this is a Dietz highway torch made in USA. It says right on the front. See? Dietz highway torch. Now, what's really cool about this is very similar to the Toledo. Same design, flat bottom, sphere shape with this little loop. Now, people are like, what's this for? Well, you can carry it. Even while it's lit, while it's burning, you can carry it. So road crews if they needed to reposition them, they could just go over and pick them up by this thing and drag it wherever they wanted to, or pick it up and place it where it needs to be. Yeah. Now, this is the same technology, same exact design, more or less, as the Toledo. But this one has a special little addition. And I like this addition because it's kind of clever. Now, just burning on a regular night with no weather, you have the wick. As you can see, this one's charred. It's been burned. I've used this one, and I will slip in a photo of it being used along with the other ones I have. But here's the thing. This thing is pretty cool, where it will have a convertible top. See? Now it's got shelter from weather. See that? Yep. It slides up and down, so you can put it back down. There you go. So it's a convertible. So it has a little self-shelter that you can pop up on there. Yeah, it's pretty great. I think that's genius. And it has little vents, so it will spread the flame out, but it will keep it from getting inundated with, with rain or whatever that's coming down from the sky, snow, whatever. But these were filled up. Now on road crews, you had one guy who was the lantern tender in those eras, and in that back in those days. Now these go back to the 1920s, 30s. But some of the earlier ones are really fancy. They have fluted, ribbed exteriors. They look kind of more Victorian in a way. They look like an old cast iron stove, but that's kind of cool. But these things are really fun. They work really well. But yeah, I've used them out in the alleyway. Yeah, they're not supposed to use them. But not on highways anymore. No, they are illegal to use on highways. California and all the other national highways have banned the use of kerosene burning as early as the late 50s. That's right. That's when Dietz started feeling the pinch, and that's when they started feeling that they had to move their operation to China or Hong Kong and manufacture there. One, it's cheaper to manufacture there. Two, their business was big in China, Asia, and they shipped all over to third world countries because a lot of people were still using kerosene lamps at that time, tubular lanterns. The Dietz Jr. was definitely exported along with the Comet early on. That's right. And I'll talk about the Comet in Junior export at another time in another video. It's very interesting, actually. But I think I've touched upon it a few times already. But the torches, once highways, national highways here in the U.S. banned the use of kerosene, then Dietz was like, well, that was pretty much our bread and butter. We were selling a lot of these torches and a lot of kerosene lanterns, and they moved their lantern stamping and all that to Hong Kong, eventually China. But the Syracuse plant stayed open in New York, making electric flashers and automotive or truck tail lights and other items, and also barricades. They made barricades and other road-related construction things. Just because why not? Why would they just stick to one thing? But Dietz did survive in Syracuse all the way up until I think the early 1990s, late 1980s, right around there. But they were not making lanterns here. They were making those in Hong Kong and eventually China. But these things were definitely being used all the way up into the 1970s in smaller towns and all that. Some road constructions crews were still using kerosene as late as the 70s. So I've been told. But these are fun. They're kind of neat. And I would light this. I don't think I have any oil in this one. But you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's see if it does. If it doesn't, then I might have one that still has some fuel in it. But I usually burn these. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so this is... You can see that? Oh. No. It had just enough to light. It's dry. But I will put in some pictures of it. It's a good thing that it doesn't really burn. It's empty because this thing would just smoke up. It's really thick black smoke. It's not pretty. It's best to to burn them outside. But anyways, so what I'll hold court out here. When I have some friends, I will line these up. I have a handful of these, and I will line them up outside. And of course, I park the car along the north side of the alleyway by the garage, and then I'll line the alley with these, so cars coming through the alley can still pass and also see where not to drive. And I have a barricade, and I set up like kind of a road construction scenario a little bit, just so people, you know, see that where not to drive. You know, it's not necessary. They can see the car, but it's fun. It's fun to use this stuff, and people get a kick out of it. And I will say, one time I had to make a quick run to the store while I was having friends over, and I just took off real quick to go up the street to the 7-Eleven. And when I was coming back down the alleyway, and I could see the torches lined up and the barricade with the lantern glowing, it was kind of interesting to get that kind of experience driving an antique car and coming down an alley and seeing a road construction setup from the 1940s and get a kind of that experience a little bit. It was kind of cool. But just imagine driving down a rural road in that era and not seeing really anything until you could see like the flickering of these torches and then red, you know, globed lanterns, you know, designating a work area before your headlights actually get to them. So it's something to think about, right? Put yourself in that position. But these are really cool, and you know, one of the reasons why they stopped using these is not just because they exhaust a lot of smoke and they smell bad, but there's been earlier examples that were known to explode because the kerosene could get overheated depending on the time of year, and there's not a lot of ventilation in these, so you get kind of a pressure buildup, and I guess they could eventually explode if the wicks were burning all the way down and they didn't pull them out for top, you know, long enough. I guess they could kind of burn down and then eventually not go out, but also cause a problem. Some stories about these exploding, and that was a contributing factor to them not being used anymore, but I don't know how valid those stories are. I really don't. I've used these just out here and not had to worry about them. They're fine, and if they run out of fuel, as you could see, it just goes right out. Anyhow, people like their scary stories. Yes, they do. Now we're getting somewhere. That's getting nice and warm. Cool. Anyway, so that's where we're at right now. Just thought we'd touch upon some more kerosene burners to augment the channel, as this is why we're here. So just FYI, you probably saw the updated 30-second video I dropped last week. The big reveal is coming next weekend. I shall be in the Inland Empire on Friday next week, if all goes to plan, and we will make that video. We won't be doing our Thursday content because of the big video that I'm working on next week. So stay tuned for that. But I will throw in another video just as a little tips and tricks short video on some general maintenance of your tubular lanterns and how to remove a globe and just some basic stuff for some of my new subscribers. And just so you know, thank you so much for making this channel what it is. It's because of you guys that we're over 1,000 subscribers now. So I'm really excited of where this channel is going. And let me tell you, when you see the next video, not the little in-between one that I'm going to throw up there, but I mean the one that I'm working on, I think you're going to be very, very pleased. But I don't want to build up your expectations too much. Okay, all right. So, but I think you'll like it, and it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. You're going to love my friend Josh out there, and we're going to have a great experience and share some really cool stuff. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you guys in the comment section. All right. Thanks again, and bye-bye.